Yeah, right. We've
Hello
started.
everyone, and hello everyone, and welcome to SRL Tier 1. Today we're at the Circuit de Gilles Villeneuve for this Canadian Grand Prix. And today I'm joined by none other than Mr. Ringrose, and after a very, very strange Monaco Grand Prix where we didn't see Jason win for once, today hopefully he'll want to get his championship back on track in the most appropriate manner possible, and that will be winning today the Canadian Grand Prix. So Ringrose is with me, and of course I wasn't here last week, so I can't give you a race rundown, but I know some who can. So Joe, tell us what happened last week for all those people who didn't decide to watch the stream because Diablo wasn't here.
Well, essentially, Maranzano took his first SRL race win, if I'm correct. And the streets of Monaco, probably I think is the only driver not to make a mistake. Project 994 came P2 with Melanie in P3, Jason in P5, I think, because you let Ted through at the end. Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah. All-rounder retired. Joe finished P7 or 8, I think, and Langman finished quite far down or retired.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite a strange race.
Now this circuit, of course, as we know, as growing up in real life F1, some of the best races in maybe the sport's history. Definitely of recent times, we've seen some cracking races around this circuit. Everyone seems to be going out on a laps pretty early, so I would recommend actually RBZ. Let's go and have a look and see what RBZ can do. He didn't win the championship last season in SRL, but he came very, very close to Arjun Tiz at the time. It's now a case whether RBZ can get his Williams and just improve his just that little bit more on this game, because we haven't seen it yet, I don't think, from RBZ. So this is where it's going to get interesting. Through the first sector he goes, and looking pretty neat so far, very much on it in that Williams car, and number 41 now diving down in towards the right hand and the left hand chicane as well. That is a very easy place to get your lap invalidated. You take too much cover on the inside of the left hand, that can cost you big time. Now down towards the brakes, gone very deep into the hairpin, but it's actually he's managed to get it all done nicely. There's a little kink which is cast as a turn, I believe, down towards the infamous Wall of Champions and the final couple of corners on this Canadian Grand Prix circuit. And here he goes then, breaking into the final couple of corners. Langman goes provisional pole with an 11.8. Can RBZ doing about it? Cyril Hamilton can, he does a 10.7, and RBZ does a 10.5. So the Williams goes on to provisional pole for now. Good lap then from RBZ.
Yeah, good lap from RBZ. Langman seems to be struggling. Well, wasn't the best lap from him. Slowest time so far out of the 7 drivers to set a time. Jason has gone P3. I don't know if RBZ's up on his lap. No, he's backed off. And Joe slots into P2. So RBZ's setting the pace so far this session.
That's pretty good from RBZ then. So I said he needs to find pace, he doesn't at all, because he's provisional pole at the moment. Maybe I'm lying, maybe I'm completely wrong. I haven't seen a lot of him on this game, so there's a big possibility that I am. Osu Alzagari comes across the line for an invalidated lap time. So what about, who did that? Oh, Maranzano shoots up to 4th place, and Langman has lost it. Actually, what is he doing there? Hamilton goes fastest. Oh, look at that. A 10.4, sorry, and he's actually he's exactly 100th of a second faster than RBZ at the moment in that Williams. So Cyril Hamilton goes on to pole, and let's wait and see who everyone else has. Bottas looks like he's giving his teammate Joe some slipstream as they come down the back straight. He then moves out of the slipstream. Langman's actually decided to go back into the pits. Joe going around the final few corners. He goes very close to the wall on the outside and down towards the line. Where's this going to put the Mercedes? He goes pole with a 10.3, so he's gone even faster than Cyril Hamilton, and there is still plenty more time left in this session. But a big moment as All-Rounder actually goes into P4. That's a good effort from All-Rounder in the Red Bull. But yeah, these times are going to be on tumbling.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but Jason seems to be struggling the past couple of races. I don't know whether he made a mistake on his lap, but he's won 4 of the 6 races we've had so far, so he's been dominating so far, but seems to have dropped back a bit. Might have just made a little mistake on his lap, but yeah.
But as Jenson Button once said, leading a championship from start to finish sounds easy, and it never is. So bear that one in mind. It's so difficult for. I think he's maybe in a precarious position where he is in the championship, but he's coming into the pits now. So we will see him again, hopefully, in due course of this session for another chance, another bite at the cherry, if you will, with around 5 or so, just under 5 minutes to go. Coming up to 5 minutes to go in this session, I should say. I feel, RBZ is on his out lap. I don't know about anyone else whether that on laps. I think Maranzano could be. Seems to be hitting the revs, so he could be on a lap, Maranzano, in the Toro Rosso. And he's coming down towards the final couple of corners as well, the final chicane, as it were. I'm not sure whether he's going to pit. Indeed, he does pit, so I was completely wrong. I may have just wasted Bosty's time completely there, but who cares? I'm joking. Project you mentioned finished second last time out in Monaco. This is a completely different kettle of fish actually. This track. So I mean, I don't think that really you come to a more different circuit throughout the season. Maybe Hungary to Belgium, but this is very much up there with very contrasting tracks you come to during the course of the season. Monaco, then Canada. Very high speed and on the throttle all the time you are in Canada. Actually, I think it's maybe one of the highest of the season. Compare that with Monaco, where you're really just pedaling the car about.
Yeah, I mean, you got the tight aspect of this circuit. There's not really much runoffs compared to some other circuits. You got runoffs here and there, but yeah, it's a lot more high speed compared to Monaco. There's no real proper straights in Monaco where you can make a feasible overtaking opportunity with DRS, whereas here you've got 2 straights where possible. You've got maybe the one going into the right and left. I can't quite remember what turns they are, but you know, it's a lot different to Monaco, as you said.
Yeah, absolutely. Having actually spoke with a member of the manufacturer who makes all the gearboxes for these F1 cars and Formula 1 teams, etc., they actually don't do a thing to the gearbox between Monaco and Canada. They don't do anything to the gearbox. The teams will, but the manufacturers actually do nothing at all, which I was actually pleasantly surprised about, because they're very different gear ratios that you get around both sorts of circuits. So it is kind of in depth, but I don't want to go all Ted Kravitz, but I heard that is true. Let's just say that. So RBZ, I think, is pushing on a lap here, so this could be one to watch from RBZ, and I'm not sure whether he's up at a time or not. We'll soon find out as he comes through the middle sector. Which comes up now. Of course, Rob Kubica had that massive impact back in 08. No, 07. 07. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, because he won in 08. Yeah, RBZ is actually a 10th up in the middle sector as he comes down in towards the final couple of corners. This is where it's going to get all interesting. He's the 10th up on his time at the moment, and then bails out into the pit. Joe coming out. Also, Jason's on his out lap. There's a few guys that are coming through and trying to set their times alight, and one of whom should be Langman. He's only P12 at the moment, outside the top 10. Not somewhere where he wants to be. Hasn't in any league I've seen recently. Well, other than T1 Racing League, where he actually won the Monaco Grand Prix. I'll say I'm luck, but other than that, I haven't really seen.
I don't know. Joe's literally stopped on track going into the final chicane. I don't know whether he's just trying to get a gap, but yeah, he seems to be going on a lap now. Looked like he had problems, but seems to be fine now.
Jason's actually coming through the first couple of corners through turn 1 and 2, the championship leader, as was mentioned. And he's now coming down towards turn 3, where of course this season in F1 was a big old crash with Carlos Sainz and Felipe Massa. And now we're going to see through turn 4 or 5, and this may be turn 6, but I can't remember exactly. I don't know whether he's up on this time. He didn't give me the telemetry that I needed there, so happy days. And Jason will be wanting to start within the front few cars, you feel? You would like to think that he would start from one of the first 2 rows. He's only on the 3rd row at the moment, so there is a lot to play for still. As Joe actually, it's Project, who goes into P2 in that Ferrari then, so he's done a 1 minute 10.4, and that is only some 7 thousandths of a second faster than SRL Hamilton, who has just retired from the session, so he won't be taking any further action in this one. Through the final corners comes Jason, and this is going to be interesting to see whether he can get that Haas car onto the pole position mark. I don't think he's going to get it here. No, he doesn't. He remains P6, improves, but not enough. And then Joe goes even faster. It does a 1 minute 10.1. That's 3/10 faster than the Project on the front row. That is a great lap for the Merc. And Maranzano, I think, has come across the line, and he's improved. He's gone into P4. RBZ is the next car, I think, to really have to marry Joe.
Langman's out.
So he starts from the back.
Yep. He's... where's that?
RBZ coming across the line. Oh, stays P5.
That's going into T7. It's going into turn 7. Langman's crashed. But Maranzano, is he on a lap?
No, it backs out.
No.
Jason could be going on another fly. He's 3/10 up in the middle sector on his personal best, I think. May even be the pole position mark, but this is where it gets crucial then for the Haas car. As he comes down in towards the final couple of corners. Now or never then for the championship leader. Breaking hard into that final corner. Final 2, nearly hitting the wall of champions. It would be ironic if he hit it there and he comes across the line. He's going to get pole position. He may not do it by much. He may not do it at all. He doesn't do it at all, but he's on the front row of the grid. So Jason then doesn't start from pole, but second will do for the Haas.
Yeah, Joe, that was a great lap from Joe. Do you want to run down the grid?
Okie dokie, so Joe is joined with Jason on the front row. Project getting a tremendous qualifying on row 2 alongside SRL Hamilton. RBZ is 6th and he is behind Maranzano on the 3rd row. All-rounder and V6 start from row 4 with JP and Massey Bolton row 5. Then Bottas and Melanie on row 6. Hossu Alzagari will start with Langman on the back row.
Yeah, I was not expecting that from Langman.
Yeah.
That's a bit of a shock. But he'll get a fresh choice of tyres. It's the 2 of the 1. They're pretty much neck and neck. So the guys starting from P11 to P14 will most likely be doing the 1. Whereas you have to think the guys in the top 10, depending how they can do on their tyres, will be...
It's not really a bad place for Lang to be, to be fair though. I mean,
you can overtake on this circuit.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's not
you look back to 2011, JB. He came from the back mid-race and managed to win the thing. I mean, obviously that has very different conditions, but the cars are different.
Bruce, anything is possible.
Got formation lap.
We go to the formation. Oh, I'm getting excited there, but yeah. he can do something special from the back today. That is probably the one to watch, whether how quickly he can make his way through the pack and whether he can make his way through the pack. Maybe that's his genuine... I don't think that's his genuine pace, actually. I don't think that's a bit harsh for me to say that's his genuine pace. It definitely isn't. So he's got a lot to play for, you feel, in this race. And the man is... Let's just... He could get top... I feel that he could get top 6, maybe top 5, but that would be a push. We've seen it done in the past. Hamilton, of course, in Russia, Cyril Hamilton, I should say, in Russia actually managed to come from 15th on the grid to finish P4, so it's doable. It's very doable.
Yeah,
you've just
very doable.
This is, I feel, this is probably a better track to overtake cars than Russia. So let's just wait and see.
Yeah, well, we've got 35 laps and Langman's only got past. Well, he's got 13 cars ahead of him. There's bound to be a couple of retirements and maybe an incident or two along the way. Obviously, he doesn't want to be involved in one of those incidents, but we'll have to wait and see going into turn 1. Joe's definitely going to be aggressive because Joe's currently second in the championship. Safety cars. Yeah.
Are around this circuit. They are often used, so bear that in mind. The cars now lining up onto the grid for this Canadian Grand Prix. Bottas will be the last car to slot into his 11th place mark. And here we go then. We're ready then for the Canadian Grand Prix. Here go the 5 red lights. It is lights out and away we go. A pretty average start, it has to be said, from Hamilton off the second row. Bobbed by he's then a Jason Langman saying towards. So is Jason from Joe. Back tremendously is in the background. There's all kinds of carnage. RBZ managing to get around the outside while the Red Bulls are nearly squeezing each other out through the apex. Can Joe get back past Jason down towards the long left-hander, and then the quick ride that follows? No, he cannot do it through there. And one of the Ferraris project, as I said, keeps ahead of Hamilton, and there's the Red Bull in the wall. That is a rounder. And he's lost it there, coming through turn 4, 5 or 6, I think that is. And that is a big moment for the all-rounder then. Loses the rear end of that Red Bull and is right into the barriers in the very first lap. Now Hamilton will want to get past the Ferrari project at the moment, and that's a pretty poor start. I've been kicked out of session.
Oh, send you an invite back. But that's not what... Oh, I can't invite you. So possibly might have to invite you. Or won't let me. Try if I can do it this way. No, that's not giving me the option.
I think only races.
That's the second race.
Yeah, I think only races can do it.
Yeah. That's just the second time. Well, not the second time. That's the second time in 2 races that all-rounders crashed on the first lap and has DNF'd. So that's not what he would have wanted. Wasn't very happy with circumstances last week. Maranzano and JP in the pit lane. So Joe's managed to get past Jason again. Projects by JP, they're all very, very close. Near towards the top of the standings. They're within top 5 within 1.1 seconds of each other. Is anyone going to go for a move? Look like Sarah Hamilton is going to go on a move on Project, but locked up as Project closes the door. RBZ is very, very close. Sarah Hamilton in the slipstream. Is he going to go down the inside, going into the final corner? Indeed he is. Does the switchback, doesn't quite work though. That's all round. I can send you an invite.
Oh, let me just see. I might actually be able to do it. Yes, come on. Did you get that? Okay. I forgot that I can invite you through the party.
On lap 3 now. DRS has now been enabled and Joe's now got a 7-10 gap to Jason. Project has managed to get himself a penalty. So he doesn't want to be getting too many of them. Considering we're only 3.5 laps into this race, or 2.5 laps into. Yeah, 3 laps into this race. My bad. There's yellows in sector 1. What's lap 4? Yeah. Top 5 are very, very close. I think they're all in different cars, so the pit stops won't be an issue. So it's just sort of a race to the pit stops. Yeah. Oh. Very, very aggressive. Very aggressive defending from Project, but that's exactly what he needs to do. To the guys, if he wants to keep that position, it was legal. There wasn't any problem with it, in my eyes, anyway. So Kazari's up now. P8 or no? He's made contact with Melanie, not Lemony, Melanie. Yeah, so not a bad start from Josie there. Yeah. It's alright. Problem. Yeah, good stuff from Sarah Hamilton there. Defending his position well, manages to stay in P4 without losing too much time to the top 3 as well. So, you know, good racing from them too. And, well, Sarah Hamilton's probably looking to get past Project, who seems to be struggling at the moment. Yeah, and a lot of the edges, if you make a mistake, you won't be too bad if you just lock up. You can go wide and take the runoff area. It's the exits, the issue. It's like, as you said, the notorious Wall of Champions. That's probably the main one to look out for here. So, because they're going so fast through that final chicane, it's so tight on the exit. Yeah. Hammer's in the pits. He's got damage. Yeah, he got damage. That's exactly what Langman's going to want, because Langman's on the one stop, and well, I don't think Cyril Hamilton's gone on the supers. I don't know what that does. He can probably he's gone on the softs. Sorry, visual glitch again. In the pits. Jason.
Oh, I've got to be joking.
So Jason is in the pit lane. Maybe just covering off Cyril Hamilton. Maybe not aware that he's got damage.
I feel like I'm the biggest cock right now because my audio wasn't included.
Oh
no. Yeah.
He's on the super sauce. So but he's going to come out ahead of Cyril Hamilton as Hamilton had the wing change. The project.
Yeah.
1.1.
So now RBZ could be looking to remove.
Yep.
No,
Yes,
getting close, isn't he? But not close enough. Joe actually nearly lost it on the exit as well through that corner, and this is a massive opportunity for RBZ. You know he doesn't shy away from a move around the outside of the project here. This could be brave stuff. Can he go? Oh, he just needs to switch back in, and that was Project cut that all on the apex there. I will never know. And now we can see RB7 and Project going side by side down in towards the final couple of corners. This is going to be so close. Can RBZ squeeze him out? I think he may be able to. Can he get him under braking? He's going to pit this lap. So is Project and gets out. Actually comes into the bits ahead of him. So that could be quite crucial now because, of course, the Williams pit crew is a lot further down than the Ferrari one. So there is a chance that RBZ could be held up in the pits. Now, he has been, I think. So now Langman takes the lead of this race. No, he's not been. Oh, that's not quite. Well, Jason's actually got through and he's going to take the lead of the race actually because Joe is going to come around the first corner now. Yes, he has. He's kept ahead. Joe keeps ahead then of Jason. So stays ahead as well. Now Langman leads this race on soft tyres and this could be a really good race for the Renault now, but he needs to pull it out the bag, and Melanie is P2 for Williams at the moment, so they're having a good day of it in Canada. And let's just see whether Jason can try and get back past Joe. I'm not sure whether he's going to be able to. Joe, leaving that door open for him on the inside, and he doesn't go for it there. Stays very much put on his racing line there, Joe, but there is a lot of lag involved with his car at the moment.
There is indeed. They seem to be the closest on track at the moment. Sarah Hamilton,
Yeah.
well, yeah, Project's still just 7 tenths behind RBZ, and Sarah Hamilton's 7 tenths behind him, so they sort of separated from the top two.
Yeah.
Pit stop phases, as Melody's now in the pits. They seem to
That is probably,
split away.
that probably is the closest battle on track at the moment. Jason versus Joe for what is the net lead, because Langman has still yet to stop. He has yet to make a pit stop in this race, so not ideal for Langman. He just needs to keep the gap as it is. Hopefully these cars keep battling, because that obviously reduces the gap that once was, because he has of course yet to stop. Melanie has rejoined P11 and he wasn't too far behind Langman at all, so that is something to bear in mind. There is Langman in your picture if you're on board with Joe. He's not that far up the road really, and kind of spurring on that Mercedes just to go get him, go catch him. He's there for the taking, and just you don't even need bait in this situation. He will just keep on coming. So here we go into the final couple of corners. Can Jason just get a good enough run off the final corner? You just can't launch that pass car off the final corner to really make a bold move. But I seriously have to sincerely apologise, because of all commentaries I've done, I've never not forgot to include my audio, and that was a first, I'll tell you that. So I can only apologise, I'm sure. Yeah, you won't be sick of my voice. But still. Jason is staying pretty constant. Project is closing in on RBZ. That gap is reducing, so there is still a fight to be won there. And Hamilton, having stopped earliest of all these guys, has probably lost the biggest. He is the biggest loser in all of in the pit stop window so far. So that isn't gonna, well, he's not going to love this circuit after that, because the undercut can be quite powerful around here, as proved, but just not enough as it seems. So Langman would, if he's still in the one stop, he'd go on to super soft tyres on his next stint.
Yeah.
Would he? Okay. Yeah, okay.
Joe's most likely. All the guys that have gone on soft definitely on one stops. It'll be interesting to see what Jason does a bit earlier than most of them.
Oh, Joe nearly went a bit too deep into the first corner. It's surprising that Jason's actually gone on to super soft. I'm not sure whether there's a big difference between the two in terms of raw, like, just the pace, because as I said, it is, I wouldn't say relatively easy to close a gap around it. Dirty Ed doesn't play, I wouldn't say this isn't the biggest track where it plays dividends the most, but yeah, Hostel Al getting more penalties. If he had a driving licence in the UK, he would be a disqualified driver with that many penalties on it. So yeah, Joe goes a little bit deep in towards the hairpin, and it doesn't come anything for Jason this time. And Jason knows he needs to get a move on, really. He knows he's quicker than Joe on super soft tyres. He has to be quicker than Joe. But it's just when he can get this move done, because it's just not happening at the moment. And now Langman is not too far up the road either, so Joe's going to get a good tow off the Renault car. These two, of course, Team Max, Team RR, at the top tier 1. So yeah, bear that one in mind. I'm sure there's plenty of team wars going on here then, because I know these two are definitely parts of each other. I know that much.
Yeah, interesting to point out, Jason had a very similar problem with Joe in China. Maybe Joe just runs a lot lower wings than Jason, and Jason prefers a more stable car, whereas Jason might have a run on Joe. Maybe not. It looked like he had the best run out of the corner there, but Joe's now closed right up to the back of Langman.
But Joe is all over that Renault's gearbox and should be able to get the move done into the hairpin, and doesn't get the move done into the hairpin. So he's waiting for that DRS and then making the move. That is a risky game to play, because the longer you stick behind that Renault, the more that OPZ's going to close on you. And we know how much of a threat he can be in race class. Langman then is moving all over the place, just trying to keep Joe behind him. That is going to frustrate the Mercedes massively, actually, because he really doesn't need a car that isn't as quick as these guys at the front. He's just holding them up at the moment. And Joe looking for a move on the inside. I think better off it on Langman. These two are just, I'd say they're big, probably from the experiences I've commentated on, maybe one of the biggest in terms of league races. It's just such a big rivalry, I think, between these two. And it's interesting to note that rivalry. Down towards the left and right chicane. And still nothing happening, and Bottas, gets punished with a 3-second time penalty. I need to choose my words wisely there. Now we're going to see whether Joe can get this move done on Langman down in towards the hairpin. Isn't
going to do the same thing.
Oh no, Langman's
oh no, Joe's from
deep.
No, Langman is from deep, but not able to capitalise as much. He's gonna. Obviously, he's gonna have DRS, but he's closed up a lot more this lap. But Langman's going offensive.
Outside. Oh, Langman is just, he can do that, I guess. But it is a really risky game to play. Now Joe's got a tremendous run coming off of the final corner. He's going to be squeezed out by Langman. Look how much he's closed in on this crash as well. Around the outside will go Joe into turn 1, and Langman had absolutely no answer to it. Jason is now trying to fight his way through, and they're banging wheels. Jason and Langman, and I wonder whether Langman could have cut him off on the apex here. I'm not sure whether he's going to be able to know. Jason actually cuts him off on the apex. This could end really badly for Jason. And they all keep going together. His RB goes down the...
Oh! That Jason, is that what's happened to Jason? Well, Jason's hit the wall clearly, but he's got half a wing, and Project hasn't got any wing. Sorry about that, but that's allowed Sierra Hamilton may be able to get up into P3 after that incident. So Project's going to have to come in the pits, most likely Jason as well. I'm not too sure if Langman will, but we will see. Is Langman going to come into the pit lane along with Project? Langman does indeed. Project comes in, but Jason stays out, so Jason seems to think it's okay to carry on. Sierra Hamilton in a very yeah, carry on, James, sorry.
I can't believe that RBZ managed to get that move done. It's absolutely ludicrous, insane how he managed to get that car on the inside of both of them there. get a move done, but I'm surprised Jason hasn't stopped. Why would you not come into the pits? I mean, oh, it's getting worse for him. He nearly takes his whole front wing off. This is not ideal for Jason then in the Haas, and he's going to be understeering massively. Just look how much time he's losing to those guys. It's just ever increasing now. So
yeah, Stuart Hamilton's going to
pivotal.
want to get past as soon as possible, because he was just 3.6 behind Joe. Now he's 5.6, so he's lost 2 seconds. But Jason, is he going to come into the pit lane? No, he's not.
Oh, he's tapping the back of Jason through the final couple of corners there. And RBZ is closing in on the leader of Joe as well. This is very interesting. To be honest, it's too interesting. And now we're going to see whether Hamilton is going to move done on Jason. Jason just cannot just hasn't got anything on that front end of that car. It's costing him dear performance from the Haas driver. He's just struggling so much with that front end. He just can't get it into the corners. It's just painful. You see now, and RBZ is closing in on Joe for a race lead at Williams. RBZ then going for a race win. Something I'm sure he wouldn't have expected coming into it. But this is a tremendous performance so far from the Williams driver, and I feel rain is on the horizon here, hence why people like Jason are staying out. I feel like I saw a few spots, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, it'd be nice to know if there's going to be any rain or not. But Stuart Hamilton doesn't seem to be too close to Jason. Don't know whether he's made a mistake somewhere, but Maranzano is now closing up to the 2 as well. That's interesting. That could play a part soon, because obviously Jason's been holding them up. So we will see what happens, I guess.
RBZ is sticking right on that Mercedes gearbox, Mercedes car actually. He's staying right with Joe. The gap is only it's now 5 tenths of a second between those two, and it will only come down with DRS, you feel. This is a great opportunity for RBZ to get a race win over Joe, and Joe needs this race win, let's not forget, because that championship that Jason has, that lead, that is going to reduce massively. I wonder if RBZ can get a move done in towards the final few corners. He actually did a really nice entry there. It's a pretty good run with Joe coming through that right-hand hairpin there, and this is where it's going to get interesting. Can RBZ get enough onto the back of Joe? He'll have to go so late on the brakes to just maximise his run through the final corner. He just needs to nail it. I feel he's nailed it, absolutely. But now is his opportunity with DRS. Can he get this move done on the Mercedes down towards turn 1? No, thinks better of it, and the Williams stays in second for now, but Joe, well, he'll be looking in his mirrors, and this will not be a sight he wants to see. A charging Williams, and also Hamilton is getting close to the back of, RB gets the 3-second time penalty. That's neutralised actually the gap between the top two, because Joe had a 3-second time penalty, and now RBZ's got one, so it's very much neutralised it. So there is 12 laps of this race to go. And one man gets the 3-second time penalty, and can RBZ just close up? Joe is taking such a poor line through that right hander. I mean, I'm going to say it, because it is a very poor line. Just keeps locking up that wheel. It's almost, I'm not sure why he's doing it. I mean, it's not really making you much time. I don't know. It just looks pretty odd to me why he's doing that through that corner. But I won't mock him, because he's done enough of that on Tuesday evening in another race. So let's see.
Yeah. Stuart Hamilton is very, very close to the back of Jason now as well. Similar sort of as RBZ's getting really even closer now. Project now getting himself a penalty. Maranzano having a very solid race in P5. Hasn't been setting the pace a lot, but you know, 10 points in the championship is pretty good usually, because that's probably where I'd expect to be finishing. Sorry, James.
Compared to where he was after the first lap, I think being P5 isn't bad days. He dropped very much near towards the back. There are still 12 rounds.
Oh yeah, he did crash, didn't he? Had that incident towards the start. I think it might have been Bottas. As he came into the pit lane as well. He's going to have to stop again, because I don't think he can go from that one to the end on super softs unless he's made a stop.
Such a good run on Joe. I do apologise for going across you there, but he got a tremendous run coming off the final corner. He very nearly had Joe with a good bit of DRS. Down the main straight, he wasn't able to jump between Arby and signature on that. He's 7.5 seconds, absolutely massive between those two at the moment. And RBZ is just, if you can get a good run through here, this is a massive opportunity for the Williams. He gets a good exit coming off of the right-hander there. This is his opportunity. Can he go all the way around the outside of that Mercedes? No, he can't. He's going to have to find a better place to do it. Maybe on the switchback move. Isn't close enough there. He'll give it a good old shot then. Around the outside on the hairpin, maybe to the inside. He's going to move to the outside. Can he get this move done? Joe goes so late on the brakes. It could put RBZ off. It's not going to put RBZ off. He's getting his car in there. And I don't think he's going to get the move done just yet. Can he get the DRS? He's got the DRS in fact. This is his opportunity then. Massive opportunity for him. He'll go side by side with the Mercedes down in towards the final corner. This is where it gets interesting. Who's the last of the late breakers? It's RBZ. He squeezes out Joe. And then it's a tremendous move from RBZ, who takes the lead of the Canadian Grand Prix. We said we were in for a shock today, and he has proved us right once again.
Interesting to point out, Cyril Hamilton has been, trying to pass Jason the whole lap, being alongside him for a lot of it from last lap. While Joe was battling RBZ, but hasn't quite managed to find a way as Jason goes deep. Is Cyril Hamilton going to capitalise? Going.
Got to do it now, surely.
Oh no! Jason goes defensive. This is where they started to battle last lap. It's not really a viable place to make a move that into that corner there. But Cyril Hamilton's going to get DRS, maybe moving the hairpin.
He's just got to go for it. I mean, he's taken so long to make this move on Jason.
Yeah.
Now he's lost the race. It's a certainty that he's basically just lost this race. Because it's just in the balance, but now he's going to make 8 seconds up in as many laps. It just does not seem possible. It's not really, if I'm honest.
He's got the oldest tyres out as well, so that will again play a factor. So if he does pass Jason,
here we go then.
Outside
of Jason, maybe to turn 2. That's pushing Jason off the road. He just didn't give him any space, and Jason then loses the podium to Hamilton. But I think Hamilton may have a penalty, so that means. Oh, we have penalties, all right. 2,
yes, 3, yeah.
Jason hasn't got any.
Never warning.
Yeah, it's not.
I mean, penalty. So does DXZ.
Yeah,
that sort of level. But if Jason can get past about Hamilton and get within 3 seconds, Joe's
just caught that
at the exact same time.
So deep onto the through the hairpin there. Joe very nearly got the car into position to make a move once again. Do not scratch your eyes. This is what you're witnessing here. Can Joe get a move done on RBZ now for the lead of the race? Can he retake the lead? He started from pole, did Joe, but it's now it's a different ball game when you're against RBZ on track, because he's going to give you absolutely everything. Always does all contact. Joe has lost some of his front wing there. He went straight into the back at Williams, and he has lost his front wing end plate. So on the front right side of his car, I've lost some. This is now, it's all gone pear-shaped for the Mercedes driver, who has lost his front wing end plate, his right side. So now he's got a bit of a task. Can he get this much to the end of the race without stopping? Or will he come in and just bolt in the fastest lap? Because you feel if he just keeps on going, you know, he doesn't need to pick up the pace necessarily just yet. Well, well, I think it's definitely he's going to finish on the podium. Let's consider that actually Hamilton is 17 seconds behind him rather than 8 as it says on screen, because he's got all those, well, actually no, that's a lie, he's 14 seconds behind is Hamilton technically if you're going off penalties. So he will still finish on the podium, he just needs to keep it all together and bring it home. But RBZ then, well, that's exactly the same thing he's got to do. He only needs to bring this home now. He's got no damage to that car whatsoever. He's just got to make a breeze of it, make a race of it to the line. And yeah, where's the line man actually come out in after his pit stop? He's only P7, and RBZ gets another time penalty. And this is where it may get interesting, because now Joe will still win the race, but at the moment by 0.4 of a second, 0.5 of a second it is now. So that gap is coming out. I don't think Joe's going to be able to do much about it. He just needs to keep the gap at 3 seconds as RBZ, or just above 3 seconds, and he will get this race win.
Joe got a penalty at the exact same time as RBZ, so that cancels it out. So it's going to be, well, if he can keep it as it is and keep it clean, RBZ seems to be the most likely winner at the moment with Joe's damage. Jason seems to be struggling now, and Sierra Hamilton's penalties. So it's looking pretty good for RBZ at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. Also consider, I mean, the championship as well. Jason will finish on the podium, so that's quite big for him, but it's not, you know, these recent races, when you consider how far ahead he was in, say, Spain, Russia, as actually, I'll cut straight across what I was saying there, because rain is starting to fall in the latter stages of this race. Now, you only have to cast your mind to 2011, where of course Jensen Button managed that absolute masterclass on the final lap after a mistake from the race leader at that time was Sebastian Vettel, and he made that error, cost the error and it cost him the race. So no slip-ups required for any of the leading pack. Now it is a case of who will get to the end. They just need to bring the cars home. 5 laps to go. You can vote your driver of the day. Just let us know who you think the driver of the day is. For all of you watching, I'm sure you will try and give us an idea of your driver of the day. I think I have mine. Have you thought about a driver of the day, Joe? Or
I mean, you can't really fault it from RBZ, to be honest. Sierra Hamilton comes into the pit. Is he going to bolt on a... well, is that damage he's got? He seems to have a slight bit of damage. I don't think he's going to go on to the intermediates, is he? No, he's going to go on to intermediates.
He's going for it.
They're all going in.
Yeah, Merck's coming in as well. That's
Matty Bolton, Project, Bottas, Langman, all of them are coming in. So that's 4 drivers. As so is Melanie and Bottas, like JP.
He gets a penalty.
So there.
This is massive. This is massive. You cannot be one of the top 3 because there is a big chance you'll get it all wrong. RBZ actually manages to get that bang on. Deras is now disabled. Joe going absolutely miles wide. This, you feel the chance then for the intermediate runners to really put a point on the mark now, to really hassle those guys who are leading this race. And it is massive. It is imperative that these guys come in. RBZ is in. Joe will follow.
Joe's going to have a wing change most likely, and probably Jason. So you've got to factor that in. Is Joe going to have a wing change?
They've taken longs to service RBZ. He's now out of the pits, so he's on his way once again. Joe's getting his front wing changed. Jason
going to get held up.
His change as well.
Joe's going to get held up as well. Oh no, he's not.
No,
he is. No. Yeah, slightly. He's just had to lift in the pit lane. Has team aren't ready for him.
Yes,
They weren't
they're not ready.
for him.
They're not ready at all. Hamilton, this is his opportunity. As Maranzano then pits, Matty Boland's now got a big opportunity as well to get onto the podium. It sounds silly, but it's true. He's on with a chance then. Jason, actually, no, he isn't, because Jason's just come out, and he's actually just come out ahead of Hamilton. Oh, what a moment that could have been. Oh, the project has had to cut across the track there because he's 10 seconds penalty for project for cutting across turn 1 and 2, and it's not ideal for him.
And he's spun as well. So that's say Langman's up into P7. He's now up into P6. So this is decent stuff from Langman. Solid 8 points currently. I don't know what his penalty situation is like, but we'll have to wait and see.
I think it's just one at the moment.
Right, okay. So I'm just going to double check what Matty Bolton's got. He's got 4 penalties, so yeah. That won't...
Yeah, Langman will finish ahead of them. At the moment, I predicted Langman would finish in the top 6 this race.
Langman's got 3 penalties.
Oh, for God's sake, yeah. There you go. They just put my buddy.
Oh, Matty's just got another penalty. So Langman's only got to catch it in a couple of seconds. But...
he needs to get them for... what is that? I'm sure. I think he does need to close it to about 6 seconds, and he's got a chance. But Hamilton is again looking at the rear end of a Haas car, which he won't want to see. And as the pun goes, it is a pain in the arse for now Hamilton. And Langman's got another penalty, and he
goes straight across at the final corner.
Yeah. So Joe then is, well, I said, well, you may want to hold on to your thoughts of driver of the day, but I've definitely considered RBZ, and who now? Yeah. As soon as I said that, gets a penalty. So I don't think that will cost him, because Joe needs to get within, that is 6 seconds, I think, to RBZ's lead. So we've got 2 laps to make that up. But
I think it's just, well, I think Joe's just too far behind, especially with his penalties as well, to capitalise on RBZ's penalty he's just got there. I think Joe's already got 1 or 2 of which for himself. Is that so sorry that lap traffic that RBZ's about to come up to as he goes on to his penultimate lap of the race.
Yeah, lap 34 of 35. He's driven an absolute masterclass as RBZ. He started from, I'll take a look if I completely forgot. He started from P6 on the grid. Now, consider starting 6th is not a, it's not very prominent that you'll see a car.
Jason and Hamilton are side by side.
Yeah, they go, ooh, not close enough though. Is Hamilton going to get enough exit though? But Jason, this is only for P3, but of course he doesn't know how many penalties Jason's got, whether he has any at all. And I wonder then, can Hamilton get a move done on Jason? I don't think he's going to be able to do it through there. And it's staying as it was. Stays 3rd and 4th for now. So let's just see whether anything else. Langman gets another penalty. And I thought I was bad around this circuit. Turns out I was wrong. So let's see whether Hamilton can get this move done.
That might help Maranzano.
Yeah, down the inside then we'll go Hamilton on Jason. It's not going to mean anything for the race, but it'll mean everything for a bit of dignity, of course. And Hamilton moves up into 3rd place, but Jason will come straight back at him in the Haas for the same position here. So here we go. Once again, as we come down in towards the final corner, this could go really badly wrong because they don't know the penalties at stake. Jason will think about it, thinks better of it through the final corner, and that is the problem these two have. They don't know the penalty situation. They may have heard penalties on radio, but it means nothing in terms of race position here and track position as well.
Yeah, track position is what you want. Sorry to cut you off.
Crash.
James, sorry. Yeah. Well, Cyril Hamilton, well, he's probably been told that Jason has a penalty, but won't know how many. So he's just going to be racing Jason as you would for position. Obviously, we know a different story, but he doesn't have a clue really. He knows he's going to have.
Hang on a second.
Penalties, but yeah.
2 penalties for Joe. 3 penalties for RBZ. No, wait. You need to consider this. Joe's going to win the race. No, he isn't. No, he isn't. Carry, keep going. I thought he was for a second because I thought we had 4 penalties, but he doesn't. So, and as RBZ gets a penalty into the final corner now, he will win this race in Canada. He comes around the final corner. RBZ has done it in Canada, and he is the 3rd winner of the season, the 3rd different winner. I should tell 4th maybe different winner of the season.
Yeah.
RBZ wins the Canadian Grand Prix from Joe, who put up a valiant effort. And I think that Hamilton's going to finish on the podium because Jason finishes 3rd instead of Hamilton because of penalties. The 2 Renaults should come across the line 5th and 6th, and respectively of their positions. And I think Langman may even lose the position to Maranzano, but that is yet to be seen. Langman actually beat Matty Bolt P5. Good effort then from Langman in the end. Maranzano comes through and actually
goes ahead of both of them.
And now Melanie
happy there.
Will come across the line, and this is a man who you can most certainly never see a penalty. In fact,
Melanie's ahead of Matty Bolton.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That is Bottas has spun around the final corner. I'm not sure whether
that's going to allow JP.
Yeah, JP, no it's not, because JP has got about 1 million penalties, and JP comes through for 10th place. So there is your Canadian Grand Prix, and a tremendous Canadian Grand Prix at that. We're going to invite the top 3 to the party so we can have a quick little chat with all 3 of them. And yeah, they need to do the uncharacteristic mistake of ticking the box, because I didn't. So we're going to see the podium celebrations now, and I imagine it's been a very long time since a Williams last won the Canadian Grand Prix, but not many. We're gonna. Oh my goodness me! Claire Williams looks like Theresa May on this game. It's not a good sight. There you go. There's your top 3, and there is the race classification. So RBZ takes the 25 points from Joe, and Jason finishes 3rd, and he needs an invite to the party. Hamilton finishes 4th, Maranzano 5th. Langman, a good effort to finish 6th from the back of the grid. Then Melanie in 7th after so many penalties for Matty Bolton, who finishes 8th in the end. Bottas finishes in 9th place from 11th on the grid, and JP again 15 seconds worth of penalties. It's not as bad as Hosu Alzugari, who got 7 penalties, which equates to 23 seconds worth of time penalty.
Matty Bolton basically less penalties. He got 32 seconds. That's something to beat. Record.
Wow, 32. That's worse than me. But remember, guys, tick that box, and we'll get straight into it. We'll go straight to RBZ, who's won today. I mean, on 2016, it wasn't a shock, I don't think, to see you win a race. But I mean, you've got to be happy with the race win, I guess, on this game, because I don't think you've been as prominent on this game as you were the last game. So, are you happy? Well, I guess you're pretty happy with that race win today.
Yeah, I'm chuffed a bit. So I don't understand how I won, but yeah, it was a good race. I had really good pace. I thought I would have got further up in qualifying, but I couldn't string the lap together. The race was hilarious. I was stuck behind the 4 guys in front for ages because they were all in a train and I couldn't overtake because my straight line speed was trash. I just stuck it together, kept it on the roads, and then when the rain came out, I hit the wall, got a yellow/orange front wing, just pitted, tried to keep it on track towards the end, and I managed to. Thank God for that. I'm happy I finally won.
Yes, I mean, I'm not going to question like how prominently you're going to play this game now, but I mean, like, after seeing that you can win a race in conditions where you, from the sounds of things, didn't expect to, you're going to take this. I'm not going to say you're going to take this more seriously, because I mean, it's up to you, but you've now got the potential, you feel, for a race win. Could you do it again potentially? Do you feel like you may be able to win more races in the future?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really into the game as much as I was before. I used to love the game, but this is trash. It's terrible. But I know when I practice I can be up the pace. It's just I never really come on. But I practice for this race, and it shows what I can do when I do practice. So, yeah, I'm hoping for maybe another couple of wins before the season wraps up. But yeah, I'm happy I've won, and let's move on to the next one. I've got to go now, by the way. I'll see you. So.
All right, okay. Cheers for that.
Bye, thanks for the race.
Yeah, cheers, mate. We'll move swiftly on then to Joe with no transitions. Well, you've done pretty well to pole position in the race today, but I mean, you were always under pressure, it seemed, in that race. There was never a moment where you really relax and go, you know what, I've got this race in the bag. Because either RBZ was right up behind you, Jason was right up behind you, and at times, another two, Jason and, Project and Hamilton, who were also pretty close behind. So that must have been a pretty, I'll use the word tense race for you, but towards the end it wasn't so much, was it?
Well, towards the end I was flat out because I know RBZ had an extra penalty than me, and I might be able to get one removed. So that could clear off a position, maybe. But yeah, I had a bad start, shocking start to be honest. I was using a TT-based sort of setup, which showed in qualifying that I could get whole West 3 temps. But then in the race, I was just mainly saving my rear tyres the whole race. And then when RBZ was behind me, I was confused to be honest how he was sticking with me through the corners, especially the final chicane. He just took so much more speed through there than me. I didn't know what he was doing. He was cutting it or anything. I was just really confused. And then, what corner is it? I don't know what corner it is. I messed up going into the hairpin. And then he was just all over me and I couldn't do anything.
I'm going to question you about that. I mean, in commentary I said, like, how you had taken that corner, like, it was almost every lap. You took it completely differently from everybody else. You sort of went into it so deep, and then cut us straight across it. Was that just so you could get a good enough run down the back straight? Or was it you were just terrible on the brakes?
Well, I was going wider than everyone else on purpose, but sometimes, well, by a few laps I just missed my braking zone a little bit or touched the grass on the inside. It went even wider than I was planned to do. But yeah, when I went really wide, I got a really good exit. So that was the plan, really, most of the time.
I mean, like Dave said, he actually had higher downforce, I think, than everyone else, or everyone else had lower downforce than him. So that could be a good reason why he taken that chicane so quickly. But I mean, you gained some points. I say some. You gained 3 points today on Jason for the lead of the championship. So is there that bitterness in you that you feel, you know what, I may still have a chance in this season? Because the last two races, with all due respect to Jason, haven't been the best races for him. So would you say this is an opportunity for you? You need to take these opportunities now as if you're going to win the championship this season.
Yeah, I definitely need to take them. Like, I'm pretty pissed off with myself that I didn't win that race today. Yeah. Like, I only gained 3 points on him, and I'm already like, what is it, 50 points behind him, 60 points, and 3 points isn't going to get me the title, so I need to be improving.
Yeah, GG on that, and we look forward to seeing how you get on in due course of the season. We'll move on to the championship leader currently, and a man who can be stopped, it seems, from the last two races. This is the first time this season he hasn't gone, I don't even know. There must be a stat somewhere in here. But we'll find it eventually. I just can't think of it off the top of my head and how to word it, which is weird for me. But you finished third today. Now, after the misdemeanors in Monaco, Jason, I mean, you can't be too disheartened with third. Also, bearing in mind you had front wing gap, it seemed, towards the end of that race, and it was only until you come to Inters where you changed that damage. So are you happy with P3 today?
After the damage, yes, but it was pretty annoying getting the damage because I was in the battle for the lead. I think it was like 5 of us, and I can't remember what lap it was, but we was overtaking Langman, who hadn't pitted yet, and I think it was turn 5. We went 3 wide, and I just got squeezed on the inside, and got orange damage. And I didn't actually change it at the pit stop for Inters because I thought Cyril Hamlin might have damage, and he did, and he changed his wing, so I came ahead, managed to defend, but he had penalties anyway, so I think third's pretty good.
Yeah, as we've mentioned like before, this is, I mean, it looks dominant from our perspective, the championship standings, but as these 2 races have proved, it's not going to be easy. Tracks coming up for you, are they good tracks, are they mediocre tracks, or are they just bloody god tracks that you don't want to see anything of ever again? Ever.
Azerbaijan, I have no idea. I've hardly raced that track since it came on calendar. But the next 6 tracks after that are some of my best tracks, so I think if I'm going to pull away in the points, just going to be there. So hopefully just ride out Azerbaijan, and then my best tracks will come after that.
Don't tell me that, please.
Happy days. So you're, well, I guess confident going into the next year then. But do you feel the luck is kind of like, I mean, final question because I'm going to be dragging on a bit, but luck recently hasn't, I mean, to be honest, as I say, Monaco and for today, I mean, third is great, I guess, but do you feel like the luck is kind of slipping away, whether you had any luck in the first place, whether it was just raw pace? Were these tracks ever going to be kind to you, Monaco and Canada? Were they always nice tracks to you, or did you just not like them anyway?
No, for the pad, Monaco and Canada are terrible. Canada's just a joke of a track really for league racing because of the track limits, but I think out of the first 3 tracks, these 2 are definitely the worst, so I'm not that surprised I've lost in these races.
Oh, well, there you go then. It's P3 for you today in GG, and that is, I guess, unless Ringways has any more questions, it will be time for me to do my famous rounding streams off.
I'm good. You sort of answered what.
He's good.
gonna ask-
He's good. Okay, well, that's what I wanted to hear. Right then, so that was your tier 1 Canadian Grand Prix win, and your top 3 were, of course, RBZ, Joe, and Jason. And RBZ taking his first win of the season. You can catch us for where maybe we'll see a bit more action if the real life race is anything to go by around the Azerbaijan streets in Baku. So join us for that one next weekend, and next Friday, same time, different track, maybe same comms. But until then, bye bye for now.